Have you ever heard of a case that seems to have more questions than answers? A story where every clue just leads to another dead end. Today, we re-diving into one of the most baffling and heartbreaking mysteries of the 21st century. The disappearance of Maura. Maura Murray, on February 9, 2004, a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst packed her bags, emptied her bank account, and emailed her professors and work supervisor about a family emergency. The thing is, there was no family emergency. She then drove north, her destination unknown. That same evening, around 7:30 p.m., Maura crashed her car on a snowy, remote road in Hampshire, New Hampshire. A local bus driver, Butch Atwood, stopped and asked if she needed help. She refused, claiming she had already called for assistance. Those cell phone records showed no such call was ever made. Atwood, feeling uneasy, called the police anyway. When they arrived just minutes later, the scene was eerie. Maura's car was locked. A box of wine was spilled inside, but Maura herself was gone, vanished without a trace. This is where the story truly spirals into a vortex of theories and unanswered questions. What was happening in Maura's life leading up to that day? Just days before she disappeared, she was involved in another minor car accident. She had also been making strange online searches about the effects of alcohol on a fetus. Though her family insists she wasn't pregnant, her behavior was described as distant and in a daze in the hours before she left. Was she running away from something or to something? The initial police response has been a major point of contention. They initially treated it as a simple missing person case, possibly someone who just wanted to get away. They didn't conduct a thorough search of the area until days later, by which time heavy snowfall could have covered any tracks or clues. Some believe Maura succumbed to the elements, wandering into the woods and getting lost in the freezing temperatures. Extensive searches with dogs and thermal imaging, however, turned up nothing. Not a footprint, not a piece of clothing, nothing. This lack of evidence has fueled countless theories. One popular theory is that Maura, disoriented from the crash, accepted a ride from a stranger who meant her harm. The road she was on, Route 112, is a lonely stretch of highway, and the opportunity for Ann Predator to encounter a vulnerable person was certainly there. The bus driver, Butch Atwood, reported seeing no other cars pass by in the short window between his encounter with Maura and the police arriving. Could someone have been lying in wait? Another line of thought is that Maura staged her own disappearance. Could the emails, the packed bags, and the mysterious destination all be part of a plan to start a new life? Perhaps she arranged for someone to pick her up near the crash site. Some have even suggested she fled to Canada, which is not far from where her car was found. Her family, however, has always been adamant that Maura would never willingly abandon them. She was close with her father, and the idea that she would put her loved ones through this kind of unending pain seems out of character. Over the years, the case has become a phenomenon, attracting a massive online community of armchair detectives. Every detail of Maura's life has been scrutinized, from her credit card statements to her dorm room reading material. This has led to a flood of tips, potential sightings, and unfortunately, a lot of misinformation that has complicated the official investigation. There have been moments of hope. In 2019, a search was conducted on the basement of a nearby house after cadaver dogs indicated the possible presence of human remains. The excavation, however, only uncovered fragments of old pottery. Each lead seems to end in another frustrating dead end, leaving Maura's family and a concerned public with no closure. What happened to Maura Murray after she stepped out of her car on that cold February night? Did she get lost in the unforgiving White Mountains? Was she the victim of a random act of violence? Or did she successfully orchestrate a new life for herself, leaving everyone she knew behind? The car was found. Her belongings were there. But the most important piece of the puzzle, Maura herself, remains missing. The case is a stark reminder of how quickly a life can change, how a person can simply vanish from the face of the earth. Maura's father, Fred Murray, has never given up hope. For nearly 2 decades, he has tirelessly searched for his daughter, pleading with the public for any information that might lead to an answer. The mystery of Maura Murray is more than just a true crime story. It's a human tragedy. It's about a family's desperate search for answers and a young woman whose fate remains unknown. Her story continues to captivate and haunt us because it taps into a primal fear, the unknown, the idea that someone can just disappear, leaving behind a trail of questions that may never be answered. What do you think happened to Maura Murray? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This case is still active, and any small piece of information could be the one that finally brings her home. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story compelling, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into fascinating mysteries. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.